Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to another live edition of SAT Sports with yours truly, Marcus, right here on my YouTube channel. And we're continuing this trend on the road to Arizona or Cleveland, Ohio with March Madness. Of course, we're going to do a special episode for you today. Now, this past weekend, we just wrapped up the second round of the men's NCAA tournament. We're getting ready for the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight this weekend, but we're going to do a two-parted episode this week, because we still got a lot more. Tonight is actually the night that the second round of the women's tournament will officially wrap up, and they get ready for the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. But for the women's side, which we're going to start with right now, we're going to just recap the entire first round. Yeah, they were a day over the men, which the men got a head start on Thursday with their first round. The women got a start on Friday, and the first round ended on Saturday. They continued the second round yesterday, and it will end today. And they get ready for the Sweet 16 and their Elite Eight starting on Friday. So we're going to start with the women's bracket real quick. We'll give you a recap of how the first round went. Let's get it up right now, because I know there's still a few games left going on, but we'll save that for Wednesday. We'll talk about more to come. So I hope you guys are going to be ready for that. Dylan already tuning in. What's going on? So let's go back to Friday. So the first night of the first round, we know LSU hosted Rice in their regional. It was a sloppy game. I didn't get to watch it, but they did get the win, 70-60 over Rice. Now remember, they only had 7 eligible players in the game. Their entire bench had to sit out a game due to the whole scramble with South Carolina. North Carolina beat Michigan State 59-56. Ohio State beat Maine 80-57. Mid-Tennessee beat Louisville 71-69. I think that's when the brackets started busting for the women. But not as bad as the men's bracket busted everybody's. South Carolina beat Presbyterian 91-39. So that just shows you that South Carolina is a heavy favorite to win the national championship for the women's Final Four. Duke beat Richmond 72-61. Texas beat Drexel 82-42. Virginia Tech beat Marshall 92-49. Kansas State beat Portland 78-65. Alabama beat Florida State 82-74. Baylor beat Vanderbilt 80-63. Colorado beat Drake 86-72. Iowa State beat Maryland 93-86. Oregon State beat Eastern Washington 73-51. Stanford beat Norfolk State 79-50. And Nebraska beat Texas A&M 61-59. That was just half of the first round. The rest of that first half convinced on Saturday. And Tennessee, who beat Green Bay 92-63. UConn beat Jackson State 86-64. Indiana beat Fairfield 89-56. Kansas beat Michigan in overtime 81-72. Notre Dame beat Kent State 81-67. NC State beat Chattanooga 64-45. Iowa beat Holy Cross 91-65. Syracuse beat Arizona 74-69. Oklahoma beat Florida Gulf Coast 73-70. Ole Miss beat Marquette 67-55. USC beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi 87-55. West Virginia beat Princeton 63-53. Creighton beat UNLV 87-73. Gonzaga beat UC Irvine 75-56. UCLA beat California Baptist 84-55. And finally, Utah beat South Dakota State 68-54. That was the first round of the women's bracket. The second round started yesterday. It ended tonight, but they still got games going on. We're going to recap the second round for the women on our next show this coming Wednesday, March 27th. We'll talk about that. So we'll get to men's basketball. Let's jump to the NIT real quick, because NIT starts the quarterfinals tomorrow in this one. Let's get the NIT up. We got to recap the second round here that started on Saturday, March 23rd. Seton Hall beat North Texas 72-58. Cincinnati beat Bradley 74-57. Ohio State beat Virginia Tech 81-73. Indiana State beat Minnesota 76-64. Georgia beat Wake Forest 72-66. Virginia Commonwealth beat South Florida 70-65. Utah beat Iowa 91-82. And UNLV beat Boston College 79-70. The quarterfinals will start tomorrow, March 26th. We'll have two matchups, and then the other quarterfinal matchups will take place Wednesday, March 27th. So let's go ahead and predict these real quick. First game, we got Georgia and Ohio State, 6 p.m. tip-off on ESPN. Now remember, these are also campus games. The road to, it's Indianapolis. It's no longer MSG. So this will be the final round. We're on campus sites before they head to Indianapolis next week for the Final Four of the NIT and the championship game. We get Georgia, Ohio State tipping it off, 6 p.m. on ESPN. Georgia is 19-16. Ohio State's the heavy favorite, 22-13 in Columbus. I'm going to stick with the SEC. I'm going to go with Georgia. I think they pull it off. Then our second game, 8 p.m. on ESPN, we get Cincinnati taking on Indiana State. And the Indiana State is a heavy favorite in this tournament I mentioned. They are currently 30-6 record. Cincinnati coming in this game 22-14. I mentioned Indiana State is my pick right now to win the NIT, so I'm going with Indiana State to win this one. And then the second half of the quarterfinals, Wednesday, March 27th at 6 p.m. on ESPN2, we get UNLV taking on Seton Hall. Both teams similar, same records. The Rebels are 21-12. The Pirates are 22-12. I'm going to go with Seton Hall, win this one. And then the final NIT quarterfinal game, we get the Rams of VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, taking on the Utes of Utah, 8 p.m. tip-off on ESPN2. I'm going to go with Utah. Utah at home to win this one. So I'm going to say Ohio State will be the only team to lose on their home court this week for the NIT. Before I get to any more basketball talk, because all the basketball talk I got left is recapping the second round of the men's tournament. And we're not going to predict the Sweet 16 yet. We're going to wait till next episode. So I figured I haven't talked NASCAR lately in a couple weeks. We'll go ahead and recap their last two races. Let's go back 2 weeks ago. Let's go back to Bristol, Tennessee, the Food City 500, which I thought we were going to see a clean sweep like Kyle Larson did in the Pennzoil 500. Ty Gibbs took stage 1 and stage 2, but the winner of the Food City 500 went to Denny Hamlin, came in first place. Runner-up was Martin Truex Jr. In third place, Brad Keselowski. And then this past week, we had the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400. Actually, no, wrong race. My mistake. Looking at the wrong one. We had the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix. That was in Austin, Texas, which that race course is not a good one. It looked like crap. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. But yeah, let's take a look here. The stage 1 winner went to Christopher Bell. Stage 2 was taken by Denny Hamlin, and the winner of the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix went to the man who won the Daytona 500, representing Hendrick Motorsports, driving the number 24 Raptor. William Byron wins the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix. Coming in at second place was Christopher Bell, and third was Ty Gibbs. So good job there. Next coming race, we get the Toyota Owners 400 down in Richmond, Virginia at Richmond Raceway. Possibly I will not watch maybe any of it with all the basketball going on and whatnot. And it's Easter Sunday, so I'm going to probably be watching baseball because good news, all you baseball lovers, opening day is in a couple of days, and I know you guys are excited as I am. Ready to see if the Astros can find a way to bring the World Series championship back to H-Town, but keep it in the Lone Star State. We're going to talk opening day. We're going to save that for Wednesday. I'm going to make my picks. We're going to figure out how we're going to do that too, by the way. But it's going to be a fun one. Plus, on Wednesday, we're also going to make predictions for the inaugural week of the UFL, the United Football League, where the USFL and the XFL merge into one. Week 1 kicks off, I think they're playing a game on the 29th, I think, or the 30th. I'm not too sure. But we're going to do some predictions for that when we get to it. I can't wait to talk more football again. It's been about, 6 weeks since the Super Bowl? So we're going to have fun talking about the UFL, making predictions for that week 1. Well, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. We're going to go ahead and recap the second round of the men's NCAA tournament that started back on Saturday, March 23rd. We got Arizona beat Dayton 78-68. Gonzaga beats Kansas 89-68. North Carolina beat Michigan State 85-69. Iowa State beat Washington State 67-56. NC State ended that Cinderella story of Oakland in overtime 79-73. Tennessee beat Texas 62-58. Illinois beat Duquesne 89-63. This game right here was a damn good one. Creighton beat Oregon in double overtime 86-73. We go to Sunday's matchups. This one was fun watching. Marquette beat Colorado 81-77. Purdue beat Utah State 106-67. Duke beat James Madison 93-55. Clemson beat Baylor 72-64. Alabama beat Grand Canyon 72-61. UConn beat Northwestern 75-58. Houston, Texas A&M, that was a tremendous matchup. A buzzer beater that brought them into overtime, but the Cougars stand tall. Plus, I want to say they're the only team left in the Lone Star State. Houston beat Texas A&M 195, and then finally San Diego State beat Yale 85-57. So we're going to the Sweet 16 with the regional matchups. I know the West Regional Finals will be in Los Angeles. The East Regional Finals, I think, are in they're in Boston at the TD Garden. The South Regional Final is in Dallas, Texas at the American Airlines Center. And the Midwest Regional Final is going to be in Detroit, Michigan at the Little Caesars Arena. So we're down to 16. It's to the Sweet 16. It begins Thursday, March 28th, Clemson and Arizona, 6:09 tip-off on CBS. Then we got San Diego State, UConn, 6:39 tip-off, and you can watch it on either TBS or True TV. Then we got Alabama, North Carolina, 8:39 p.m. start time on CBS. And to wrap up Thursday night, Illinois and Iowa State, 9:09 p.m. start time on either TBS or True TV. Then on Good Friday, March 29th, it tips off with North Carolina State and Marquette at 6:09 p.m. on CBS, followed by 6:39 Gonzaga and Purdue on TBS or True TV. Then at 8:39 p.m. Duke versus Houston on CBS, and then at 9:09 on TBS or True TV, Creighton versus Tennessee. Some damn good matchups here. Thursday, I think I'm looking forward to North Carolina and Alabama. Friday, I'm looking forward to Marquette and NC State, plus Houston and Duke. I'll even throw in Creighton and Tennessee. Who am I going to pick in the Sweet 16? You're going to have to tune in Wednesday night to find out, because this might be the shortest episode I've ever done of SAT Sports. And we're going to wrap it up tonight. I don't have much to say on hockey. I don't have much to say on the NBA, except the Pelicans are dominating still. I'm hoping they can keep it up. That way they can get a good seed in the playoffs. LSU baseball got embarrassed by Florida this past weekend. LSU softball finally getting in the winning column after, I think, a 3 or 4 game losing streak. And Major League Soccer is kicking and rolling. We're going to be talking more about the MLS once I get Freddie back. But that will wrap up this short edition for tonight. Again, I will do the Madness will continue on Wednesday, March 27th, possibly around this start time. Again, I'm going to recap the NIT quarterfinals. If they have the Final Four, I might make a prediction there. We're going to recap the second round for the women's, predict their Sweet 16. We're going to predict the men's Sweet 16. Plus, we're also going to talk MLB opening day, make some predictions on opening day, and we're going to predict week 1 of the UFL starting this weekend. So we're going to have a lot of predictions. Be sure to check out. I might try and find a guest if anybody wants to come on, but if not, I'll keep this going solo. But join me again on my channel, same time, same place, around 9 o'clock p.m.-ish on my YouTube channel to continue the March Madness run. But until then, there you see my Twitter feed down there. Follow me on Twitter at MarcusLee337. Subscribe to me on YouTube to watch SAT Sports Anytime on demand. Also follow my co-host Freddie. He'll be back in the month of April. Probably by next week he'll be back, or in 2 weeks. But the band's going to be back together. But thank y'all for tuning in on this short episode. I know it's a late night. People got work in the morning like me. I got some more wrestling to keep on watching and more basketball. But until then, thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in 2 days. Y'all have a good one.